Welcome to Orlando Magic Soundoff. I'm Mackenzie Thirkill, and you're probably asking yourself, what is Orlando Magic Soundoff? Well, it's a show for the fans, by the fans, where you get to pick what we discuss each and every week. Our huge staff scours our social channels to see what it is you guys are talking about. And this isn't just another talking head show, no. Instead, you, the fans, are our guests, plus a few surprises along the way. So enough of me, let's get these conversations started. Welcome to Orlando Magic Soundoff. I'm Mackenzie Thirkill, and I am so excited about this first episode and the guests who are joining me. Today, I have Mikey, Rob, Simon, and MARKEE, and I can't wait to hear from all of you. But first, let's get into one of the hottest topics this week, which is, of course, NBA Top Shop. And if you're not familiar with it, here's Terrence Ross with a better explanation.
So what NBA Top Shop is essentially is pretty much electronic trading cards. They vary in moments from different players. It could be anything from a dunk to an assist to a shot. A lot of these things are varying from different, groups and such of your common cards. You have your rare cards, your cosmic cards. You have just different types of cards that hold different values. And what it is pretty much just trading. We're trading between cards, other people. It's pretty dope because now it's like giving the player the chance to kind of trade uniforms, trade cards, and all that, through this platform. So that's kind of what the buzz is right now, and I think that's what everybody's kind of getting caught up in.
Guys, I'm sure you've been seeing it all over social media, not only from the Orlando Magic, but from the NBA. What have been your thoughts on NBA Top Shops, and have you guys used it yet?
It's actually my first time. I'm actually in line right now for the pack. Still kind of new to it. I don't know what's going on. I've been listening to podcasts and reading articles about it, but yeah, it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. I think it's very nostalgic in terms of it being digital trading cards. I'm sure a lot of us growing up being sports fans had the actual physical cards that we would, trade with friends. But now to put it on a digital platform where it's available to everyone and you kind of get this ownership of really awesome NBA moments, I think it's going to go a lot of places and I'm really excited about it. What would be some moments that you guys would want to own?
Vooch.
Vooch, yeah, anything's Vucevic, honestly.
Vooch's dunk on Draymond Green last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a really good one.
The steal, the Nick Anderson steal would be a great Magic moment to own.
Cole Anthony's game.
I don't know how old school they're going, though. How far back are they going with these moments?
I actually don't know. That's actually a really good question because there are so many classic moments, not only from us. I mean, really from us. You said you have Nick Anderson, you have Shaq. There's so many that I can think off the top of my head that I think would go for a lot of money.
I think what's cool
I
is
used to collect a lot. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, what's cool is it's a bit like NBA 2K with my team and collecting cards. So it's a little bit like that, isn't it? It's very cool. Lots of little moments you can pick up. Buying, selling, upgrading. It's cool. Try and jump on it if we can, get into the queue.
A lot of people have been really excited about it. I've also seen a lot of the players pushing it, which I don't know if there's any benefit to them pushing their own highlights, but it seems like they've been getting really excited about it as well. I know T-Ross, we heard from him. I've seen MCW talk about it a lot on his Instagram. So I think it's a cool way to just tap in with the players as well.
I think
in a different
way. Is an investor in NBA Top Shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, well, let's get to our number 2 topic of the week, which of course I think has been very popular amongst all of the NBA, but we're going to keep it specifically to Orlando. And that is, of course, the release of the second half of this schedule. And there's a lot that you can kind of dissect with this schedule, given how we've just been performing the first half. But I think the things that we really need to touch on is that first, we're starting it off the same way we started the first half. And that's, of course, playing the Miami Heat, which should always be a good matchup. It's a good in-state rivalry. But then I think also another thing that we need to talk about is the West Coast road trip that we have in March. And that's, of course, with the Lakers, the Clippers, flying to New Orleans, and then a back-to-back with the Jazz and the Nuggets. How are we feeling?
That's not going to be fun. That's not going to be a fun trip.
Sounds like a cakewalk.
I wish.
I like the positivity. I hope it's a cakewalk. I mean, you never know what could happen, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough go. I know when it first came out, the schedule, the Magic have the third hardest second half schedule based on current cumulative opponent winning percentages.
Yeah,
Not what
obviously
we're
not what you want when your team's already pretty banged up like we are. So it'll be tough, but the guys are going to have to dig down deep, and if we don't get off to a nice start to the second half of the season, things can probably get ugly pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be an interesting to see how we really come out of All-Star break, because sure as we all know, this is usually the time of the season where we really start to pick it up. And we really saw that this last couple of weeks where we started to build on those wins. And of course, we're hoping to get Cole Anthony back as well as AG, which should be a huge help to the team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got it's the start of the season, isn't it? Like the second half of the season, we've got to get off to a good start. I think only three of the next 10, 12 games are against teams with losing records. So we're really up against it, aren't we, with some of these teams coming up? And you got to get wins when you can, really. Yeah, it's a tough stretch. Not just before the 25th of March, which is a big deadline day, but afterwards as well. Like you said, with that road trip going to LA, I think we've got Utah, Denver. So yeah, if they're gonna pull themselves back into the playoff race, they've got to start picking up some wins.
Yeah. Simon, what are you hoping to see for this second half?
I'd like to see who steps up, like next to Vooch, who's going to help him, like pick up his scoring, and I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Usually, somebody picks it up in the second half of the season. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting.
That's really the bread and butter of this team. I know Steve Clifford always tries to push, like, I would rather be winning at the back end of the season and at the front end and then dip out. So like I said, hopefully it goes our way. Like, we've really seen this trajectory of this team over the past couple seasons. MARKEE, what are you hoping to see?
Injury free. Everyone stay healthy. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm right there with you. These injuries have been hurting us this season. But like, don't mind my microphone falling. Props to our players, though, for picking up the slack, especially guys like Vooch, who we're going to get to talking about here shortly, rightfully so. But guys like Vooch have really just been picking up the slack. Guys like MCW now running point for us, given all of the problems we've had in that regard. So props to these guys for being resilient with all the adversity they've had to face.
Even Chuma Okiki. Chuma has been great, too.
Say that one more time, Simon.
Chuma Okiki. Okiki has been really good.
Yeah, Chuma Okiki too. That's another guy we are about to talk to. And actually, let's just get right to it. So there's a couple of tweets that I was able to find online that were just kind of popular this past week amongst Orlando Magic fans, and Chuma Okiki being one. I had someone saying, Chuma Okiki, absolute baller and an absolute pleasure to watch. Orlando Magic, we got another, which I have to agree with. Just seeing what he has done performance-wise these last couple games, there's a lot to be hopeful for. What have you guys liked seeing from him thus far?
I've noticed that his confidence on the court has really increased, obviously, as he started to play a little bit more. And I'm already kind of seeing the signs of the player that we were hoping when we drafted him a couple of years ago. And that kind of speaks to, we have a hard schedule. This year's been really unfortunate with all these injuries. But for the first time in a while, you can say, even if things just don't work out because of the bad hand we've been dealt this year, next year is a hugely exciting year when we can finally, hopefully, get all these guys, knock on wood, together and playing together. I mean, it's definitely a team to look out for next year. It's an exciting time to be a fan.
It is. And I think that's such a good way to look at it, for the fact that this roster is made up of so many young guys. And we're seeing all these different glimpses between Markelle earlier in the season. Of course, Cole coming in and doing what he's been doing. Chuma, we of course will get the return of J.I. next season. And so this is going to be such a young roster to build upon. And I think there's so much excitement to be looking forward to in the seasons to come, for sure, which I am excited about. And I think everyone should be as well. Another tweet that I found, Matt Horner saying, the former rookie of the year, Michael Carter-Williams, a generational talent who has only gotten better after year one. So much help for Vooch. And of course, he has been a lot of help coming off of injury, running point, like I had mentioned earlier, especially getting the ball to Vooch, since Vooch is the anchor to our offense.
Yeah. MCW's been great this season, especially on the defensive end. He's always been that little bit of a pest, hasn't he, for us? That teams don't like facing him, and he's brought it up to another level playing from the starting role this year. So hopefully, like MARKEE said earlier, if we can keep him injury free, then he's going to help us stay competitive in a lot of these games. He's got that fire that we all love to see. So yeah, he's having a great season.
Simon?
MCW has been great, like Mikey said. His defense has been fantastic. And that last play with Curry when we played the Warriors last week, that was amazing defense. And that just speaks for what he can do.
I think that's really, he's showing so much of himself, especially defensively. Of course, when we originally signed him 2 seasons ago to that 10-day, we saw what he was capable of, which then led to us re-signing him. And that's such a plus for us, since defense is really where all of our strength lies. And having a guy like that going up against guys like Steph, who we know Steph Curry is one of the best, if not the best, like running point. And so having someone like MCW who can really cover that and take charge and also set up your offense, which is so important for a point guard. You're the floor general, you're the eyes and ears, you're seeing everything lay out in front of you. So for him to really be able to step into that role after everything, coming off of injury, and to now help our team get these wins in a row has just been massive. MARKEE?
Yeah, like you said, everything's been, if you could just hold on, if we could just hold on all the injuries and everything, I feel like the second half of the season will be fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with AG comes back, Cole Anthony pick up where we started off in the first couple weeks, with that energy, and yeah, we'll see. We'll make a playoff run. I'm excited for it.
I like it. And the East is so open too. It really could be anyone's game. But you guys, in order to get really to the second half of the schedule, you have to have a break. And of course, that break is none other than All-Star break. So the hottest topic, which we have to talk about, was the announcement of Nikola Vucevic getting chosen for his second NBA All-Star team. So we have to talk about number 9. He has been everything for us and has just been putting on a clinic this season for the Orlando Magic. Nikola Vucevic averaging over 24 points per game, over 11 rebounds per game, just 40% from the three. He has done it all. Rob, what do you have to say about Vooch?
Well, Vooch has slowly grown on me throughout the years, and it's not been all his fault why he's had to grow on me. I mean, Vooch came in right in a transition between when the team was, going to the finals and a perennial playoff team to where we were in a rebuilding phase. So Vooch, the entrance of Vooch into our roster has kind of been the start of a really tough decade for the team. So he kind of has a little bit of that stink on him, and it's not his fault. I mean, he's been probably consistently our best player over that time. But just these last couple of years, and especially this year, I don't know what it is. It's not like he's really added anything totally new to his game, but he's just taken every aspect of his game and improved it just a little bit over the last 3 years, where he's really just become a guy that is actually, I enjoy watching. I have a ton of respect for him. And now he's become one of my favorite players in Magic history, just because he's just good at everything. And so it's been fun to watch him kind of earn the fans' respect, earn my respect, and just turn into a true all-star player.
That was a very good take. I really appreciated that. I saw Mikey nodding a lot to that too.
Yeah. I'm super stoked that Vooch has made the All-Star team. I thought 2 years ago when he made it, when the All-Star game was in Charlotte, he had his best season, and I think a lot of people were skeptical whether he could take it to another level. And this year, he's carried the team through what's been a treacherous season, really, with all the injuries that we've had. Shooting the lights out. He's even his volume from three, to shoot 40% from beyond the arc. The amount of threes that he's shooting is just a testament to the way he's playing, really. I think he's been fantastic, and we're all happy he's making it to the All-Star team for the second time.
Yeah, it was very well deserved. I know for at least me, I was going to have a conniption if he didn't get picked, at least for the reserves, or if the coaches didn't acknowledge him. Because unfortunately for Vooch, like when you look at all the guys who are available to choose for All-Star, people are drawn to the teams in which are winning records and who are at the top of the leaderboards. And the Magic aren't there, unfortunately, which then doesn't put him in a place to get the recognition he really deserves, which luckily the league was able to really pick up on that, and he got his chance and is just going to show him what he's capable of on March 7th when he gets to play in the All-Star game in Atlanta. But Simon, how are you feeling once you saw the announcement?
I was so proud of Vooch. I think there's no other player in the league that is more loyal and like always preaches how much they love the city. So he's been here since like 2012. So I can't think of someone who's more respectful to the city and can represent us in the All-Star game like that. And he's grown so much, and it's just great to see somebody like him play in the All-Star game. Put two bags.
Yeah. MARKEE?
Yeah, I'm just happy he's finally getting the respect he deserves. Like everyone said, it's no other person, you want to represent the city of Orlando. Like Simon said, he's loyal. He's just been putting in the work. He's grown every year. I'm excited. Hopefully this builds, and next year he can be MVP candidate.
Hey, I like it. Put some respect on the name.
For real.
No, but of course we are also over the moon that he will be part of the NBA All-Star, and again, rightfully so, and hopefully it only just gives him more respect once everyone's really able to see what he's capable of, because what he has done this season, especially as a center, he has been breaking records, not only team records, but just has been making his mark league-wise for the things that he has done.
It's rare now in this league and really in all sports for a player to hang around on one team for so long, as Vooch has been here in Orlando now for, 9 seasons or so. And like we were talking about earlier, the future being bright, it would just be a really nice story if Vooch could just stay with this franchise and help be a veteran mentor to all this young talent that we have now, and finally get to kind of captain a team that has a real chance to do something in the next 3 or 4 years. It would be a great story for him to actually hang around this long, because you look around the league, and other than Steph Curry and a couple other guys, most good players are on a team for 5, 6, 7 years, and then they move on. And Vooch has the potential to stay here for 15 plus, have really every record, every individual record the Magic has, and lead a crop of young talent to the promised land. That would be great.
There really is something to be said about having the consistency of a player who's been there through all the transitions of a team, and also just really having a veteran presence in the locker room. I know you hear young guys all the time saying like, oh, I went to like this vet, I went to that vet. And you're really trying to pick their brain because they keep a level of consistency, because we see it with Vooch. We know he has his moments during games where he gets very upset, rightfully so. But at the end of the day, he's always a pro's pro. He always talks to the media. He's always very transparent about how he's feeling. And he's always very transparent about really what's going on. And there's such an importance with that, especially with this being such a young team, for them to look up to a guy like Vooch to be like, all right, this is the right way it's supposed to be done. And because he's been here and has sustained a career here for so many years in Orlando, like, I want that too. And that would be so great to have that, as opposed to having that turnaround every single year where you have a new roster and you're like, wait, who's on our team again? Which you see sometimes with teams where it's just every year you're like, wait, what? Like, I don't remember this happening.
Yeah, and I think the other important thing as well, everybody's eyes are on Mo Bamba this season. wanting him to take his game to another level. So having Vooch as his vet to show him how to improve his game and how to conduct himself day to day and work off the court and work on his game, I think there's nobody better really to teach Mo.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I really don't think that there is anyone better than Vooch to teach him. But guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time and of course joining me on Orlando Magic Soundoff. I hope you had as much fun as I did and that we can do this again soon.
Sure.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Mackenzie.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone who joined Orlando Magic Soundoff today and made our first episode a memorable one. Let's do it again. I'll see you next week.